Miropolsky. I'm the decision-making and spiritual coach, and I'm very glad that you're watching this live stream. So, as a part of my education as a decision and spiritual coach, I accomplished a bachelor degree in behavior science, and also I accomplished a course of personal budget consultant in Open University of Israel. And that's why I want to address today's topic and to talk a little bit about what is happening now on the financial market, what is happening with interest rates in United States. I know that lots of my viewers are from United States or planning to move to United States. Anyway, the topic of real estate and buying a house is important decision-making topic for lots of us, and that's why I want to talk a little bit about it. Of course, I need to mention that I'm not a broker or real estate agent or any financial licensed specialist. I want to tell my professional opinion as a decision-making coach and as someone that has a specialization in personal finance, financial decisions. Okay, and what we see now is that the rates are going up, and they are going up more than a month now, and the rates will go up again today, or already are going up today, and there are expected other interest rate changes during the years that maybe will take them even higher than now. You can think, how can it be higher than now? Oh, unfortunately it can be, and even now we see a huge difference from how interest rates were in 2018, 19, 2020, 21. Interest rates were like around 3%, and that was great. It had a side effect that the house pricing went really up, and there were, in successful states, houses were sold, during weekend, and also houses were sold on higher prices than they were listed for sale. And of course now this will calm down a little bit or even completely. All those adding more money and receiving multiple offers and all that thing will calm down now, more or less. But what to do in this situation? What people are thinking about mostly is to buy a house now or to wait a little bit. This is the main question that lots of people have now because of this very fast change of rates. Like I was expecting, of course, like everyone, I was expecting that interest rates will go up, but somehow I thought that it will happen, little by little, more smoothly and not as rapidly as they did and they continue to do. So yeah, maybe people had no enough time to see this change and to maybe to purchase something when the process is little by little starting, because there was no little by little, it was pretty fast. And the situation is good only for, as far as I see it, only for cash buyers, because the market is cooling down, calming, and the houses are not going to be super cheap, but the prices at least are not going up, because every year they were going up. At least since 2018, I think every year the houses were going up, and the prices were changing so fast. From another hand, the low interest still made it relevant, and people were buying properties. So now the prices are even going down a little bit. but mainly they're not going up every day, and there are no multiple offers with additional money that people are offering in order to buy a house. So when you are buying something with cash offer, of course your offer will be very, very interesting and very, very relevant, even more attractive to the house sellers than it was before. So that's like that's great. And also I think that you can buy a house cheaper than it would cost later when the rates will go down again. This is what I see theoretically right now, but in general, yeah, the prices this summer are not jumping for I don't know 20% higher than the houses costed a year ago, for example, and it's already good. So yeah, this is good for cash buyers. What about all others? For all others, it's not such a good thing. So no matter are you making a decision to sell a house or to buy a house, if it's not necessary, if it's just something that you want to improve or you've been thinking about it, but it's not necessary to be done this year, maybe it's a good time for to wait a little bit, because you know, if you're a seller, probably you can sell your house better with rates that will be lower, so people will compete and you'll receive multiple offers. From another hand, if you're not selling your house and getting enough money to buy a house with a cash offer, you will take a new mortgage and your interest rate will probably be twice or more higher than the rates you're paying now if you're still paying a mortgage. If you're buying a house and you already have a house and you can theoretically wait, maybe it's a good time to wait and not to rush buying another property. From another hand, if you need to buy another property, for example, you moved from another country or from state to state, or you have children that need place and you don't have enough space, and this is really something that you cannot wait with, so you'll need to buy a house right now. And when the question is to buy or not to buy, if you have a property where you live and you have more comfortable, let's say normal, pleasant interest rates that you will have if you'll buy something new right now, so maybe it's a good time to wait a little bit and to see, maybe in a year, 2 or 3, the situation will change. If you don't have those few years to wait for the change, you can sell a property or buy a property if you don't have any properties yet, and then when the rate will go down, you can refinance your mortgage again. So sometimes I think that people are too afraid of decisions because they think that it's something that they make a decision and that they stay with this decision for their entire life, and it's not right. We can change our decisions and we can influence what we are going to do next. And of course, if we are talking about rates, about interest rates, and when, I believe that one day it will change and the situation will be more comfortable when we'll take in mortgages. So if you buy a property now and the interest rate, let's say, is 6% or 7%, it's, of course, it's extremely high. But when the interest will go down, you can always refinance your mortgage and get the current rate that you will prefer. when you don't have a property and you are renting, you're not living for free somewhere, and you don't have a property that you have low interest rates and you're paying a mortgage. So if you are renting somewhere, you are paying every month thousands of dollars, and you are not the owner of the property. Of course, we all need to rent for a while when we are young, when we don't have money to purchase a property. We are renting because we don't have another opportunities, another chance at that moment. But when the situation changes and you can buy property, from my experience, from calculations that I made for myself, for my clients, I always see that it's better to buy a property than to rent a property. And especially if you're planning to live in that area for a while. For example, if you moved somewhere for 1 year or 2 years, maybe it doesn't make sense to buy a property and sell it because of all the taxes, all the money you will pay to the agents. It doesn't make sense. But if you live somewhere and you're planning to live in this area 3, 4, 5, 10 years or even more, as sooner you buy the property, as better it is for you. Of course, we cannot know all the circumstances, and maybe the house prices will go down somewhere in the middle of the road, and you'll think, oh, why I bought this property 4 years ago? Now it costs less than I bought it. But remember, then 4 years ago you couldn't know that the prices will go down, and also in the long run you don't know how much the property will cost when you'll need to sell it. And while you're living in a property, it's still better to pay your own mortgage than to continue paying years and years mortgage of some other people. Again, it's okay to rent a property when we don't have an opportunity to buy a property. But if we have an opportunity to buy a property, I don't think that it's a very good idea to continue renting, especially if you're not planning to move very soon from the area where you're living. So what I want to say in the conclusion of all this conversation, of course the decision is always yours. You need to answer yourself a few questions. For example, about, do you plan to move? Do you need to buy a property right now? If you have already a property, can you live there for a few more years or not? And if the answer is I need to buy a property now, so remember that you can buy a property, and when the interest rates will be better, you can refinance your mortgage. And it's a very important thing to do, because I know that sometimes people don't do it in time for some reason. They are afraid of the process. They think they have some different false beliefs about refinancing a mortgage, and in the end of the day, it's better to refinance a mortgage when you have a better interest rates. But having those let's say high interest rates doesn't make the process of property buying impossible. Also, from another hand, you need always to remember and to check how much will you pay per month for your property. And according to recommendations about personal budget, your monthly payment should be 50% or less of your income. Perfectly, it will be like 20% of your income, but of course, in some states, especially if you live in expensive states where housing costs very expensive, okay, like $500,000, $1 million, $2 million, for a property, you need to make your calculations and see that no matter what is the interest rate, but together with all the rates and insurances and everything, you pay 50% or less of your income to cover those expenses. Of course, if it's less, if it's 30%, 20%, that's perfect. But no matter what, it never should be more than 50% of your income that goes to pay your rent or your mortgage. That's pretty all for today. If you have any questions about financial decision making processes, please contact me, write me a comment in under this video, or write me a direct message to my email. My email is alina.miropolsky@gmail.com. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and see you in my next video. Bye bye.